Welcome to NACD BoardVision, where leading boardroom advisors, governance professionals, and seasoned directors discuss critical issues related to your responsibilities in the boardroom.
Hi, I'm Steve Kalan with NACD. Welcome to BoardVision. Today we're joined by Daimon Geopfert. Daimon is an expert with data security and privacy with McGladrey. Welcome back, Daimon.
Thanks for having me, Steve. Nice to be here again.
Today we're talking about IT security failures. We'll focus on attack detection and correction. Most companies spend the majority of their time and energy preventing incidents. This can cause them to neglect their response capabilities when an incident occurs. But this is where directors earn their stripes, when a company has to manage a crisis.
And the reason we're outlining this for your directors is that boards can make a real difference in how effectively their companies are prepared to handle the risk encountered during the detection and correction phase of an incident. It starts with a simple but important premise. Directors need to assume that because of today's advanced, constantly shifting threats, their company's preventative controls are going to fail at some point.
Now by fail, I assume you mean a security breach. Recently, Zappos was successfully attacked, and before that Sony, and we've seen lots of others over the past few years.
Modern attack methods are designed to bypass many of the mechanisms organizations still rely on to protect their environment. Regulations and security standards have not caught up to this new reality, but that shouldn't stop boards from ensuring that their risk management processes include plans for mitigating damage once the first layer of defense has failed.
Well, sure, that makes sense. Now let's look at how directors can use their risk oversight skills. Directors understand enterprise risk management and counterparty risk. How can these skills help their companies through a crisis?
While avoiding the technical details, the board's role is really to make sure their organization has deployed a realistic, well-designed process meant to keep their detection capabilities aligned with the threats they are facing. A robust security risk management process should be dynamic and include mechanisms that allow your detective controls to be constantly updated to reflect the attacks that are occurring at that time. Boards should understand that attackers have access to the same technologies you do and design their methods to bypass these solutions.
Thanks, Daimon. Now let's look specifically at how boards can use their experience in crisis management during a system breach, where the company's reputation, stock price, and client relationships can all be affected.
Here's the best advice I could give our boardroom audience. Ask your CIO, IT leadership, and your other board members these questions. 1. Do we have the capability to detect breaches similar to what our peers have suffered and initiate an appropriate response? 2. Have we fully defined the roles of those involved in the response, including legal, public relations, and our crisis team leader? 3. Have we clearly defined how information will be shared with the board in the event of a critical incident? And finally, is the team prepared to guide our disclosure to key stakeholders such as customers, shareholders, law enforcement, and regulators? To summarize, the board's role is to ensure the organization has an appropriate plan in place, that the plan is followed when an incident occurs, and to communicate accurately and effectively with key stakeholders.
Very helpful, Daimon, and right on point for board members. The board should approach IT security failures from the perspective of risk oversight and crisis management. They should leave prevention to the IT team. Thanks again for your insight here. For NACD, I'm Steve Kalan. See you again on BoardVision.